Hey, so I wanted to share a story, one of my absolute favorites, and every time I tell it, right, or think about it, it gives me goosebumps, right? Because I love the message of it, where in order to learn how to finish first, you first must learn just how to finish, right? And that sometimes it isn't about celebrating the person who came in number one, who did the best out of everyone, but celebrating someone that has done all that they can with what they are given. And it definitely reminds us to never give up. So I'm telling a true story here, a true Olympic story, one of the greatest ones of all time. 1968 Olympics were being held in Mexico, and I'm talking about the very final event on the docket, and that's the marathon. Now, the stadium is packed. People are excited, right? They're ready to wrap up these incredible games, and this Ethiopian runner comes running hard into the field or into the track, and he crosses the finish line as number one, right? Wins the gold medal, and the crowd goes crazy. But I'm not talking about this guy, right? I'm not talking about the guy who finished first. As this guy's finishing, right, as he's crossing that finish line, way back in the fields, way back out there, there's another man named John Stephen Akhwari from Tanzania, and he's just trying to finish. Right, approximately 19 kilometers into this 42-kilometer race, he fell badly, right? There was some jostling among the athletes for position, and someone banged into him pretty hard. He fell hard on his knee, right? Scraped up his knee, his shin, his elbow, right? And he was bleeding badly. And the medics took a look at him. They told him, listen, your knee's dislocated, right? You're not even halfway through the race. It doesn't make sense for your health to continue to run, right? You're not going to win anything, so just go home, right? Good try. But John refused, right? John Stephen Akhwari refused to pack it in and let it go. So instead, he said, bandage me up and put me back on the field. And that's exactly what he did. And he continued to run. Well, it was more of like a limp, run, jog kind of thing. And he continued to run. And he ran, and he ran. And the stadium, people are leaving, right? All the runners had come in. 56 runners before him come in. Everybody clearing out the stadium. The interview people are interviewing the first, second, and third place people, the gold, the bronze, right, and the silver medalists, when they hear from the small crowd still left in the stadium an eruption, right? An eruption of this noise. As John Stephen Akhwari enters the track, right, in this slow, limp jog that he's got going on, and everybody's losing their mind. They're like, holy crap, what is going on here? And so the interview people, they leave, right, the people that came in first, and they go right over to John Stephen Akhwari, and they start to interview him because they know that this is an incredible story that is taking place. And they find out all the struggles that he had and the fact that he finished over an hour after the first person had come in, right? Everyone thought that there was nobody left, but he continued to run. And they asked him, they said, there's other people that dropped out of this race for less reasons than why, what you're dealing with right now. Why would you finish? And he said this one thing. He said, my country did not send me 10,000 miles to start a race. They sent me 10,000 miles across the world to finish one. And I get goosebumps just thinking about that, right? Because his name, we remember his story. We remember his name. He's received countless medals and honors and awards for that just simple act of, I'm going to finish what I started. And we don't remember the first place guy anymore, right? But we remember him. And we remember that games because of him, because despite the odds thrown at him, despite everything else, despite coming in dead last with nobody barely left in the stadium, he said, I'm going to finish what I started. And that's more important to me than trying to hit number one or take in first place or all the glory, right? So I want you to remember that. And wherever you are, right, if you've wandered, if you've fallen off, if you felt like, I just don't know. Like, I don't know where I'm going with this right now. I don't know how I'm doing. I feel like I'm completely just off track. I want you to remember, right, him. And I want you to remember his story. And I want you to encourage you to just finish the race, right? Just finish. Because if you can learn the skill of, just finish despite all odds, then learning the skill of finishing first is a close second. So I hope that inspires you, right, to finish out this week strong, to continue pushing forward, to continue doing the things that maybe are uncomfortable, maybe don't feel like anymore, maybe you're off track. But it's time, right, to pick yourself up and to continue taking some kind of stride, some kind of action forward so that you can be successful, that you can have everything that you deserve and the glory that goes with it.